Linguistic prisons. Linguistic prisons. Why calling the Creator God limits the African spiritual mind? Before you say another prayer, I need you to ask yourself one question. Whose language are you praying in? Because the word you use to call the Creator carries a history, and that history is not yours. The three-letter word God, the one you were taught from childhood, the one that fills your churches and your Sunday mornings, that word does not come from Africa. It does not come from your ancestors. It does not even come from the Bible's original languages. It comes from an ancient Germanic root, gudo, carried by Gothic tribes in Eastern Europe in the 4th century CE, and formalized in the Gothic Bible of Bishop Ulfilas around 350 AD, nearly 2,000 years after African civilizations had already developed their own vast, sophisticated, multi-dimensional vocabulary for the divine. Today, we are going to trace the chain. We are going to show you exactly how a word became a cage, and why naming the Creator in a foreign tongue is not just a semantic issue, it is a spiritual one. The linguistic revelation. Let us start with the word itself. Where does God actually come from? Etymologists trace it to Proto-Germanic guthen, a neuter noun. Not masculine, not feminine, neuter. The word was originally plural in usage, referring to a collective of supernatural forces that Germanic pagan peoples tried to propitiate through offerings and invocations. Some scholars believe the root carries the meaning that which is poured, a libation, an offering. Others believe it comes from a root meaning that which is invoked. What is certain is this: the word became masculine only after Christianity spread through Germanic territories. Monotheism required a singular, gendered, supreme ruler, so the language shifted to accommodate a theology it was never built to express. The very grammar of the word God was restructured by Christian missionaries to impose monotheistic hierarchy onto a language that had no such concept to begin with. And this same restructured word was then carried across the Atlantic and into Africa, imposed onto peoples who already had their own ancient names, their own ancient structures, their own ancient understandings. The colonial mechanism. Here is what they did and how they did it. When European missionaries arrived in Africa from the 1500s onward, accelerating dramatically in the 1800s, they did not come as scholars of African spirituality. They came as agents of a civilizing project. Colonialism had 3 declared pillars: commerce, civilization, and Christianity. Religion was not separate from the mission of conquest. It was its ideological engine. African spiritual traditions were not engaged or studied. They were labeled as paganism, as fetishism, as barbarism. Scholars have documented how missionaries created a superiority complex that literally erased the conception of African people as spiritual beings with their own relationship to the divine. The message was explicit. Africans had no idea of God, no sense of morality, no spiritual reality, until the European arrived to provide one. But here is what they found when they arrived, and what they had to suppress, translate, flatten, and rename in order to make the colonial project work. They found worlds that already knew the divine, intimately, specifically, with names that carried entire cosmologies inside them. The names they tried to erase. This is the part I need you to hear with your full attention, because every single one of these names is a theological statement, a philosophy, a complete cosmology compressed into syllables that your ancestors spoke across generations. Name people/region, what it actually means. Olodumare Yoruba, Nigeria/Benin, the owner of the source of creation, from Oni, owner, Odu, source, Mere, creation, omnipotent, omniscient, the ultimate wellspring of all existence. Chukwu Igbo, Nigeria, from Chi, spiritual being, plus Ukwu, great in size. The supreme being who encompasses all things and all space, undefinable, omnipresent, beyond form. Nyame/Onyankopon Akan, Ghana, he who knows and sees everything, omniscient, omnipotent sky deity. Onyankopon adds, the great one who alone is great. Unkulunkulu Zulu, South Africa, the great one, first ancestor, supreme creator, present in all living beings and natural phenomena, a divinity embedded in life itself. Nzambi Bakongo, Angola self-existent, almighty, identified with the sun. The Bakongo say, he is made by no other, no one beyond him is. A being of total singularity and mystery. Nyalik Dinka, South Sudan. The supreme creator in Dinka theology, a cosmic force that sustains the universe and connects all spiritual life. Ngai Kikuyu and Kamba, Kenya, the monolithic supreme god of the mountain, omnipotent, residing above Mount Kenya, Kirinyaga, creator of the universe and everything within it. Mawufon and Iwe, Benin/Togo, a supreme creator deity,